the eligibility clause that has now been added into World Rugby that basically is now shout out to Alex Goff for reporting on this a little bit. But in essence, they change it where you basically are able to play in a country and then be able to still play for your former country. So before it was like if you played professionally in one country, you probably weren't going to be able to play for your national team after that. But I think they changed it essentially. So we're going to break this down real fast because unfortunately I do have to run out. And we'll break this down really quickly here for this. I feel so unprofessional. So basically what they did is they changed Regulation 8, which will have a marked effect on the game in the U.S. Regulation 8 deals with how players are eligible to play for a national team. Among the issues, it addresses these. Once you play once for your national 15s, national 7s, or designated national 15 second team, so like something like the USA Falcons or so, you are locked into that national team. You can switch 15s national teams after a stand-down period or 7s team to play in the Olympics. Stand-down period might be shortened for that one, as long as you switch to play for a country you were born in or parent or grandparent was born in. Whenever you switch, however, that's it. You get one switch. You can qualify for a 15s national team through residency, and that residency has now changed. So for many years, the residency requirement had been that you live in the country for 3 years. The problem with that is that World Rugby felt like 3 years wasn't long enough. And so World Rugby also had trouble tracking players. If you're from Australia and are trying to establish residency in the U.S., what happens when you visit your family in Australia for Christmas? If you spend too long outside the U.S., you can see your residency clock reset to 0. So the rule was changed, and overall, it's going to benefit those who move to the U.S. and want to eventually play for the U.S. New rules state Regulation 8.1c requires a player to register with a club, union, or rugby body for a period of 60 consecutive months immediately preceding the time of playing. There's no requirement for a player to be remunerated for their participation with the club, union, or rugby body, but the player must be registered with that club, union, or rugby body in order to establish eligibility. So it means that you don't always have to be in the country of questions, but you have to have your residency and you have to be registered with a club there for 5 years in order to be able to be residency. So no jumping around, which is going to be very difficult for those that play the professional rugby. They're also using the registration system already in place to police the issue. Visit your family over Christmas as long as you want, but just don't play a rugby game while you're doing it and you're good. They also addressed the collegiate issue, which hit the U.S. some years ago when World Rugby concluded, and seriously, that a player from overseas who went to college, but his parents paid his bills, were technically still a resident in the country his parents were living in. And that has changed and simplified to simply just a rugby player who attends college in the U.S. and plays rugby during that time will be well on his way to establishing residency. So great deal. Great job. We're able to bring in more people. Kind of sucks for the Americans that are going to be in the element itself. I don't know how. I actually am happy about it. It's good. Make the confusion less. I don't really fully think it matters. And I'm looking at it from the U.S., but look at countries like Japan, countries like China, Korea, what we've seen with Fiji. Obviously, the European countries I feel like have been able to take so much advantage of it. Ireland got so many Fijians. France is so mixed up. Like, go ahead, make this thing easy. Don't make it complex. Don't make people have to feel guilty about being able to be connected to their home but still playing for somewhere else. But, you choose who you choose, and then you stick with it, And so I'm absolutely here for that one. But let me know what you guys think on this one, man. Do you like what the eligibility changes are? Do you like where they are going with it? I'm thinking that this is going to be a positive overall, and what we get for the Rugby World Cup moving forward and who goes to where, I think is going to be a benefit from that, because you're going to need those years to be able to build a team that's going to be able to withstand how long the process is going to be for breakdown. So
don't you love a great ketogenic family? My name is Gifte Belu. I'm here with Health Enhanced Food. I wanted to talk to you about one of our top baking mixes, and that is our ketogenic baking mixes. We got our ketogenic seed baking mix, our ketogenic almond baking mix, and of course, our ketogenic coconut baking mix. Now, what is so important about it being ketogenic? Now, for those who don't know, ketogenic means that it is utilizing low carbs to be able to eat from. The point of it is so that your body will naturally activate burning from your fat and be able to sustain off your proteins rather than feeding your body carbohydrates and your body simply burning that and you just don't lose weight. And so whenever you're doing that process, it's incredibly difficult. And of course, you're always going to have a craving for wanting to eat the breads and the carbs that you typically would have. With our keto baking mixes, you can have the pancakes, the waffles, the cookies, the cakes, the pizza crust that you absolutely desire without sacrificing the work, your diet, and obviously the results that you are trying to get. All our ketogenic baking mixes are gluten-free, grain-free, plant-based, and absolutely loaded with natural vitamins and minerals. We want to make sure that they are low net carb, they have no added sugar, they are protein rich, they have good healthy fats, but even more importantly, they have a low glycemic level. So for those who are diabetic and you're also still trying to find something, we have the baking mixes that are for you. And I'm sure you're wondering, why make 3 versions of them if they all are basically doing the same thing? Well, we wanted to make sure, as always, that we are trying to specialize to your dietary need. So with our ketogenic coconut, we wanted to give you a version that allows you to have a sweeter bread without sacrificing your diet. But it provides you things that you can make with your cakes, you can make your cookies, but you can be able to not have to lose your mind trying to find things that can satiate the taste without ruining your diet. With our ketogenic almond baking mix, that is one that has probably the highest protein content. It allows you to be able to control your blood sugar levels, reduce your blood pressure, lower cholesterol levels, and of course, it goes to promoting weight loss and being able to control the hunger. And for our ketogenic seed, this is for those who have a nut allergy and they can't take anything like the almonds. So we want to give them still the same thing. You can still make your bread, you can still make your pizza crust, you can still make your cakes and your buns and your muffins, but you don't have to worry about having an allergic reaction. You definitely can go check out the ketogenic line of products at healthenhancedfoods.com. Go ahead, keep up with your diet, get the foods that are necessary to keep you going, and let's get the results that you absolutely deserve. Let's go.